Hello, welcome to the Two Chicks Homestead podcast. We are the two chicks. Yay!
Hi, I'm Nate.
And I'm Erin, and we talk about homesteading and living on a small piece of land.
All right, everyone, welcome to episode 69. And it is the
13th.
13th
Of
today.
September.
Yes.
2023.
Yes. Okay. These days are just flying by. There's so much stuff going on.
Yeah, because hunting season starts in like 3 weeks?
20 days from today. Yes, I am counting down.
Okay. I guess so.
So, is it 20? No.
I don't know.
So it's 13th. Yeah, I mean, it's your, 18 days? So.
I don't know. You gotta start counting.
Yeah, whatever. 18 days. 18 days.
All right.
18 days from when this goes live, 20 from when we're recording.
Okay, I'll give you that.
So, yeah, I mean, we're getting ready for that. We're getting ready for the meetup next weekend.
Yep.
And the girls are out of town, and we went out of town for a day.
Yep.
Like 4 or 5 hours.
Yep. Well, we're gonna start with chickens.
Yep.
Because we've had a little bit of drama with our chickens.
Mm-hmm.
We were lazy. And, we got the new Wyandottes, and we thought they would follow the other chickens into the coop.
The new chickens were broken.
Yeah.
And they came broken.
Yeah, they're a little crazy. I don't know if it's a Wyandotte thing or what.
Yeah.
But we've never had them before. We've never had a whole flock of the same breed either.
Right.
We've always had a mix of whatever.
Right. And I will say, integrating them, now that we're on this chicken thing, integrating them into the new flock really went well.
Yeah.
Because we just put them in there one night and here's your new friends.
Everybody woke up and went, oh, you've always been here.
Yeah, exactly.
And there was a little bit of
There's always
territorial things, but the new ones they're out there now. They run up when snacks come out. And
I mean, it was better than the last two we tried to integrate.
Well, the first flock we ever had was weird.
Yeah.
They were so awkward and scared of I don't know what.
Yeah. But yeah, these guys actually worked out pretty good. And I think because they're Wyandottes and they are a little crazy, I think the other ones just kind of backed off a little bit.
They're a little crazy.
So they still henpeck, they still fight over food, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
So for like the past, we've had them, 6 months now?
Something like that.
For the past 4 months, they've been sleeping in the run.
Well, they've been locked up. They've been in the coop run, so they do get locked up. So there were no chances of them getting eaten.
Yes.
But yeah, they were sleeping on the ground. For a while, they were under the coop, and then they were kind of in the run, the inner run.
Yes.
And it was just like, whatever, we'll get to it. And then I started to panic, as usual. And it was like, pretty soon it's going to freeze. They're all going to freeze to death. They're going to start laying eggs under the coop that we would never be able to get to.
Yeah.
So it was like, we've got to do something. And then you made that new... Well, you kind of finagled with the floor.
Yeah.
We discovered the floor was...
Yes. So I had to redo the floor. So I literally took a piece of plywood, cut it to the size of the opening. So the way the run is, we have like the old coop and the new coop. And the new coop has like a hole in the floor that, we still use the same ramp. Mm-hmm. So they would like go up. In
our minds, they would go up and roost and everything would be fine. So
they would come up through the floor, up the ramp that was always there, and the new guys would pick a side, and the old guys would just go in the coop where they normally were. Well, so we put the chickens in there the first night, and that was the first night and only night they spent the night in the coop.
Kind of like our second born.
Yes.
She slept in the crib once, and it wasn't even overnight.
Yes, exactly.
Never went back in it.
Exactly. So I got a brilliant idea. All right. So first things first is we tried to throw them in there one night. Okay. So just out of curiosity, you and I went out there at like 8:30, give or take. Mm-hmm. I think the girls were still up.
Yeah.
and you handed them to me
Out of the coop.
And we put them in through the side door. Well, not 30 seconds later, they're coming down the stairs.
Like, wait a minute. I still have 8.
Right. They're coming down the stairs back to where they normally sleep. So we're like, okay, we got to fix this. So I blocked off the hole in the floor. And then I cut a hole in the wall of the new coop and moved the ramp to the end of the new coop so they would have to go through the new coop into the old coop.
Mm-hmm.
That finally worked. And then I put a sliding door on.
Mm-hmm.
So like how you have that vertical automatic door. Everybody has the automatic door, the power doors that close. I have it kind of set up like that. It's on slides with 550 paracord coming out.
It is automatic because you automatically open it.
Yes, I automatically open it. So it's 550 paracord out of the run, and I have like an eye bolt on the outside of the run. So when they go to bed, I can just unhook that cord and drop the door down, and then go lock everybody up.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that finally worked, and it was like a couple of days.
There was a time where I was handing them out to you, and you were putting them in the side door, and then it was like, why are we doing this?
Yes.
So I was in there scooting them up the ramp, and then you'd close the door so they couldn't come back out.
Right, so they would at least stay in there, because that was the original problem we had. They're just coming right out the door. So you were in the coop, and I was outside working the door, and I'd pull up the string, it'd raise the door up, you'd shove the chicken through the hole, and we'd close the door, and we'd be done. And we just had to do that 8 times just to get everybody in the coop.
Right.
And that took about, 4 days? 3 days?
Yeah, 3 days.
3 days? On the 4th day, I go out there, and I'm like, I wonder if they're, I want to have to go check and make sure they're all in the run, so that I can come and get you, and we can do this again.
Do the chicken dance.
Well, I went out there, and I'm feeding the rabbits, and I look over, and I'm like, there's nobody in the outside run, there's nobody on the inside run, and there's 2 butts hanging out the door. So I just nicely shoved the chickens in and closed the door behind them, and they went to bed. And
ever since then, they go up. I mean, knock on wood.
Knock on wood.
They've just kind of did it, and it was like, okay.
Yeah. So we fixed the broken chickens.
Mm-hmm.
So we have normal chickens now.
Mm-hmm. They still fly.
Yes.
All over the place.
Yes. So you and I were actually out there the other night, and one of them jumped the fence.
Yeah, just fluttered right over like it was no big deal.
Yeah. So, I mean, we have 550 paracord strung all over our run, just to keep the hawks out.
Mm-hmm.
Because we do have hawks in the area. Thankfully, we have not lost one to a hawk yet. But we're standing there. I think we were cleaning up the yard, or we were talking to the neighbor or something, and we're working on something. And you and I are just standing there, and we turn around, and we're not doing anything. All of a sudden, this chicken just jumps the fence. And we're like, what the hell?
They want to go back in, though.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I mean, they just go right back in the door when you open it.
Right. So that was nice and easy. I just kind of stood there and shoot it towards the door, and as soon as you open the door, it just went right in. It's like, all right, I'm good.
And all the other ones are standing at the door like, what's happening? It's like, get out of the way.
Right. So.
And then they started, we think they're laying.
We think one is laying, yes.
So I'm getting little bantam-sized eggs.
Right.
That are like perfectly fine. I opened up the first one because it was like, I don't know if this is
You didn't know if it was fairy egg or not. Right.
But, I don't know.
Yeah.
Little eggs, so
it's
we'll
like
see.
Half the size of our normal ones that we're used to. And apparently Reddit and everywhere else says that's normal for Wyandottes.
Yeah, I don't know.
At the beginning, and then they get bigger.
I guess we'll find out. Hopefully they don't all stay tiny.
Yeah. I mean, either way, we have 14 right now.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to start getting some eggs pretty soon, I think.
Yeah.
And we should probably check inside the actual coop and see if there's some eggs in there.
Yeah.
So I'll start doing that from now on. Now that we know they're starting to lay.
Yeah.
Which is about right. So we figured they'd start laying going into winter.
So yeah, I mean, we got them to do this in the nick of time.
Yes.
And then we had to have our neighbor come over and put them to bed the other night because we left the country and went to the city. Like tourists.
Right. So we're going to preface this by, we're going to call Chicago the uncle that everybody in the family hates, but will defend them.
Yeah, it's our crazy relative that...
Yes. So, Chicago's a shithole. I get it. I understand it. But he's family. He's an Illinois resident.
Yeah.
So we're going to defend him a little
We're light.
bit.
I mean, we've lived here our whole life.
Yes. And I lived downtown for years.
Yeah.
You know, my dad was down there, and I lived at, like, North and Hudson, and I worked at a dealership downtown for a summer. So I was down there quite frequently. It's changed, I will say that, over the past couple of years.
Yeah. So we'll start with a month ago or so, I guess.
Yes. Well, yeah, 6 weeks, month.
Yeah, it feels like 3 years.
I know.
Because we've been stressing about it.
Yeah.
But I've been listening to this band that I discovered was local. They actually live in the town, my hometown. And they were doing... I was listening to them one day, and I thought I would check and see if they're doing any concerts, because you just never know. Saw they're doing a free event in the city, and it was like, oh, it's a Saturday. You know, maybe we could go. So I bring it up, and right away you're like, are you out of your mind? First of all, it's a free event.
Yes.
And we're picturing, like, mobs of people.
Right.
Like, you have no idea.
Right.
But it was at the really pretty... It's called the J. Pritzker Theater, but I don't remember what the original name was.
Yeah, I think they call it the Harris Theater now.
Well, no, the Harris Theater is different.
Oh, that's the thing underneath.
Yeah.
But it's the pavilion /
in Millennium Park.
Yeah, it's in Millennium Park.
So,
beautiful place.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's right by the Bean or Cloud Gate or whatever you want to call it. So yeah, it was one of those things where you were like, sure, whatever, but we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see. And then, maybe a week later, I discovered that it was the same weekend as the Taste of Chicago. And for a split second, I wasn't going to mention it. But then it was like, no, I can't do that. I've got to bring it up. And we found out that the train station we were going into, you would hit Millennium Park before you hit Grant Park. Is it?
Yeah,
Grant Park?
It was literally a 1 mile walk straight down Madison Road from Ogilvy Station to Millennium Park. So it's literally a straight shot.
Yep.
And we didn't have to go anywhere near Grant Park. We didn't have to go anywhere near Taste of Chicago. The trains were empty.
Yeah, so we did a lot of preparing for it. I didn't bring my purse. I got to use your SOE wallet. I wore my nice Duluth pants that had zipper pockets. Yep. I just had my phone in my back pocket zipped up, my wallet, and you brought a cheap backpack. Well, not a cheap, but one that was an SOE, like tactical. Right.
It was our tactical baby gear backpack that we've had for 10 years.
But it wasn't like... it wasn't military scary looking.
Right. I mean, it's like $100 backpack. I am not worried about losing $100 backpack. And we literally put water, shirts, battery charger in it for the phones in case we ever needed it, like an Anchor battery pack. And that was it.
You brought tourniquets.
Yeah, I brought a whole bunch of tourniquets. I brought my med kit. Because, I mean, we're going into the city. And we're going to a free event where I don't know the situation. So, to preface this, you and I both have our concealed carry license.
Yep.
Neither of us carried. And there's a reason for that. We took the train. So the train in Illinois, public transportation, it is off limits to carry a firearm. We could have drove, but trying to get your truck downtown into a parking garage is not going to happen. And my car, I didn't really want to take my car because I am having a little bit of issues with my car. So there's some things that need to be fixed, and to and from work, I'm good with. I don't really want to take it any further than that.
Mm-hmm.
So it was the train or taxi. I'm not spending $200 on a taxi round trip or Uber or whatever you want to call it. So train it is. Concealed carry was out because it's the train, and it was gated off with security and metal detectors as soon as we walked in.
Yep.
So it was legit. We could not. There's no way. If we wanted to go, we could not.
Mm-hmm.
So it is what it is. I was semi-worried about it because I know I pay attention to what's going on in Chicago. I listen to the police frequencies here at the house. We're about 60 miles away. And the way I have our radio set up, I can monitor the Chicago frequencies because we get them out here that far. I think their towers are up on the Sears Tower. My thing's up at like 40 feet, so I can actually hear them going back and forth. So I was able to. I've been monitoring, and I was monitoring that day just to keep an eye on it, make sure there's nothing going on. Like legit, if there was a shooting at Grant Park, right before we walk out the door, you and I had a serious conversation about not going.
Yeah.
So, but everything seemed to check out pretty good for the morning, so we just decided to go. It was actually pretty easy. Mm-hmm. The streets weren't busy. This place was not packed.
No, not at all. I mean, there's a huge lawn you can sit in, and then there were seats, and the seats weren't even filled.
I mean, I what do you think? There may be 750 to 1,000 people there, if that.
Yeah, maybe.
Probably not even. It might have been closer to 5 to 750.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to tell because it's such a big area.
Right. But I mean, it was quiet, and there was definitely not our people.
Yeah, well,
by any means, but it wasn't a bunch of people you're worried to be around.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, they were yuppies.
Right.
They're sitting there drinking wine
at
their little tables and having picnics. And,
exactly.
I mean, it was nice.
Exactly. So, great concert. It was nice to hear them play.
And it was a very uppity concert. I mean, the gay men's choir was there.
Right.
They had orchestras, I think, all day. Mm-hmm. We didn't see it, but they were having... they may have been later, too, that we didn't see the ballets.
The ballets were during the day, I think.
I mean, but it wasn't like...
Right.
Bad.
Right.
Stuff.
It wasn't rap.
I don't know.
Concert.
Yeah, it's like I don't want to...
Concert.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, it was like classical / folk / orchestra.
Yeah.
And it was... I actually kind of enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm. It was...
So.
It's one of those things where everybody tells you how scary the cities are, and they are. It's nerve-wracking because it's just different. But sometimes you just have to do it. You can't sit in your house all the time and not do anything if you want to do it. Some people don't want to do it.
Right.
And I don't want to do it all the time. I'm good for another decade, of going downtown.
Same here. I mean, the only time you and I would ever go downtown was to Museum of Science and Industry.
Yeah, which that really isn't even... We don't even see the city.
Right.
We drive through, but...
That's on the south side of Chicago.
Yeah.
But the only reason you and I go there is because they have a dedicated parking lot underground.
Right.
Where you walk right into the museum.
Yeah, I mean, you don't really deal with the city going to the museum.
So, I mean, you're driving along Lakeshore Drive, you come in 55, drive along Lakeshore Drive, and you pull right into the museum, and you go underground to the parking garage, and then you walk into the museum.
Yep.
You don't deal with any of the BS.
Mm-hmm.
You're not dealing with parking, you're not dealing with the walk, you're not dealing with the train or anything.
Mm-hmm.
Problem solved. So that was always okay, we're going to the city, and that's how we're doing it.
Yeah.
That's always worked out.
Especially with kids.
Yeah, exactly. Would I want to take kids on the train to go to the Bean now? Probably not.
I mean, my parents and I took them last summer, or the summer before, I can't remember.
Yeah.
May have even been before COVID, I don't even remember. But, I mean, it was fine. I mean, they were able to walk from the station to the Bean, and...
Okay.
I mean, it was fine.
Yeah, I think I remember you guys going, but I don't remember how far you guys actually went.
Yeah, I know we went to the Bean.
Okay.
Which is about a mile.
Yeah. And it's nice walk, no problems. I think you and I made every single light, and we just walked fast.
Yeah, I mean, there were some groups that were probably completely harmless, but were rowdy.
Mm-hmm.
And, yeah, I mean, you just kind of walk a little faster.
Right.
But I think it's also, you kind of have to give off, like, I'm here, and I'm just going my business, and, I'm not here to bother anybody.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I mean, my head, no matter what happens, my head's on a swivel looking around. Same with you. And I noticed that with you. You're looking around a lot, too.
Yeah.
So, I think you and I have both changed over the years, just having that mindset.
And it was nice because we weren't scared.
No.
We made our good decisions. We picked a spot. We decided not to go sit in the chairs.
Mm-hmm.
We picked a spot on the edge with a cement wall behind us, and then a walkway in between another wall.
Yeah.
So we were pretty close to the exit that we could have just turned around and gone to the exit.
Yeah, exactly. Or gone underground.
Yeah, because the bathrooms were right there,
right.
and that was underground.
Right. So, I mean, we definitely paid attention to our outs, and
we never even sat down. We stood.
Yeah.
And we could see behind us and see all around us. And most of the people walking were walking in front of us, so it wasn't like there was a ton of stuff going on behind us. There were the walkway going down, but...
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there were a few people that walked up behind us, and you'd know it because you can hear them coming.
Yeah.
So, you just kind of pay attention. And with as much as everybody talks shit about Chicago, and I'll be the first one to talk shit about it too, this trip actually wasn't that bad.
No.
I had a lot of fun.
Yeah. It was a really nice getaway. There were things that were very stressful, like they were going to be playing with this orchestra that was doing a bunch of different things. And it was between 6 and 9 p.m. And it was like, I don't know if they come on at 6. I don't know if they come on at 8:45, so it was like, do we want to be walking at night? But it ended up working out that they were like the third ones in, and they came on at 7, and it was like 20 minutes, and we were done. Right.
So the train schedule in Chicago, leaving downtown Chicago, is like 6:40, 8:40, 10:40, and
12:40.
And 12:40. Okay. So you're almost 1 a.m.'s the last train out. So it was, we either make the 8:40 if they go, or we're stuck until 10:40, or if they go at 9:30, then that's a serious rush to get, then we're pretty much not going to make that 10:40 train, and we're stuck there till 1 a.m.
Yeah.
So that was kind of my concern. That was my main concern, is we're going to be stuck downtown till 1 o'clock in the morning. I don't want to do that. That's
right. Well, I mean,
yeah. But they went at 6:30. They were done at 7. You and I were back at the train station by 7:15 eating dinner. And then,
we moseyed. Back. We stopped and took pictures on the river, and it was just kind of just starting to get dark, where it wasn't like dark.
Right. It was a very nice view.
And it just was a nice walk back, and then we ate at the train station for
we had some Sbarros. So, and then had our slice of pizza. Tried to get Mrs. Field's cookies, but they were closing as we were walking by. Wonder how closes a cookie store at like 8 o'clock at night?
I don't know.
In a train station downtown. Come on.
I don't know.
So we were able to make the 8:40 train. As soon as we finished dinner, we walked down to the, we went up to the rail, like the
loading area.
The staging area. And we found out exactly where the train is, and we got on the platform, and we just stood there and waited until they opened the doors, and as soon as they opened the doors, boom, we're on the train, good to go.
Yep, and tickets too. I found the app that they use, and I just bought the tickets on the app, and we didn't even have paper. I mean, I think probably the last time I was on the train, you still had paper tickets.
Yeah.
I don't know. When they come around with the
Mm-hmm.
hole puncher, they don't do that anymore.
Yeah, I mean, last time you and I went downtown to go downtown and not to the museum was probably 13 years ago, 14 years ago.
Yeah,
it was
we
like
went to
right
the
when
House of Blues, or did we go see Florence?
Yeah, it would have been House of Blues, and then we went downtown with our buddy to the Bean.
Yeah.
So twice within like the past 15 years.
And we saw Florence in the Machine too, but I don't know where that was.
House of Blues.
No, that was within Temptation.
Florence and the Machine. That would have been at Cadillac Theater.
Yes.
So, but that was a parking garage.
Yeah.
You know, I think like attached to the place.
Yeah.
But the last time that I remember actually going downtown
and like walking around.
Yes, was the Bean 13 years ago, 14 years ago.
We sat and looked at the lake.
Right. That was pretty much the last time I remember going like downtown.
Mm-hmm.
I used to go all the time, and last time I took the train in was probably 20 years ago. So, it was not a bad ride in. I got a little 10-minute nap in, and I kind of enjoyed it.
It was nice.
Yeah.
It was a nice outing, something different.
Yep. I mean, I was stressing out about it, you were stressing out about it, and we did it, and we're done, and now we don't have to go back.
Yep.
Which is even better.
Yep. And it probably sounds dumb that we were stressing and still did it, but I really wanted to do it.
Right. And that's half the thing. There's a lot of stuff that you give and take, or like, you know, a lot of things that I do that you don't necessarily like.
Mm-hmm.
So I need to do things that I don't necessarily like, so you can do things that, you know, it's the give and take. And it's pretty, I had fun. Mm-hmm. I will admit.
I mean, they don't do hardly any concerts, so
yeah,
I think to see them live is pretty rare.
Right, and I think he posted he's moving to London.
Yeah, for a year.
Yeah, so he's not going to be doing any concerts anytime soon here. So, kind of interested to see how that plays out.
Yeah, he said he'll do more when they get back, but who knows what that means.
Yeah, exactly. So, but yeah, that's
yeah. So that was it.
Yep, that was it for the Chicago trip.
So the Farmish papers from Farmish Kind of Life, Amy. If you get that, if you don't, you should. And if you do, you should check it out. I think on the 3rd or 4th page is us.
Yep.
And she's doing a giveaway of the comfrey sticks, the new comfrey to-go sticks that I'm making.
Yep.
Which are doing really well.
Yeah.
I am really pleased that everybody seems to like them. They're selling really well. And everything's going great. I really enjoy making them.
Yeah,
I mean forever I always thought, I wondered how people made chapstick. And this isn't chapstick. It's comfrey to go, but it's in the little chapstick containers. And to finally be making it with this little gadget that I got is like super cool. Which there is a TikTok now about it.
Exactly. And it's worked out really good. They sell good. And it kind of looks cool to have a whole bowl of stuff sitting over there that's ours.
Yeah. And with the tallow, it doesn't turn to liquid.
Right.
I've had one in my pocket since the first time I made them, and it's perfectly fine.
We've tested them in cars in the middle of summer here. I mean, that was even before we sold it.
Yeah.
I put them in my car for 3-4 days and checked it every day, and it didn't melt.
Yeah.
So
I'm super pleased with using the tallow. I've really now prefer that over the coconut oil, which I do still offer because there's people that don't like tallow, which is fine.
Yep.
I do like the smell of the coconut oil.
Yeah.
The tallow it doesn't smell bad, but it definitely has a different smell to it, but I'm not putting things in there to cover the smell. So
right.
It doesn't you're not walking around looking or smelling like beef or anything, but
exactly. And it all depends on your climate. The tallow ships easier in the summer, and if you want coconut, order it in the winter.
But yeah, I'm not going to make sticks with coconut oil.
No.
I have some made for a special request that I made some, and I wouldn't sell them. Like,
Yeah.
I can't even consciously take money for them because I feel like they're gonna like melt out of the container. But
Yeah, we'll
see.
just pack them in some ice and when we go to ship them.
Yeah, I think I'll wait a little bit. I mean, it's
Yeah.
going north, so it's gonna get cold.
Well, if that person actually comes down here,
Well,
they can pick them up.
That's true. That's true.
And then it's their problem to get them home.
Right, but no pressure. So yeah, it's not too late to plant comfrey roots.
No.
I do have plenty of comfrey roots to go, probably until the first freeze.
Yep.
Until I can't dig anymore.
Right, so that'd be like 6 weeks.
Yeah, sometime in October, I would imagine.
Yeah, it's usually mid-late October. I mean, if we get snow like we did a couple of years ago on the 10th of October.
Yeah, it all depends on how long I can dig. But you can, as long as you can also dig, you can plant them, and they'll greet you in the spring.
Exactly, or in a couple of weeks if you're...
Yeah, depending on your climate. Yeah, but it'll grow, or it will sleep all winter and then grow.
Yeah, because that's usually like 12 pieces, 10 pieces, and a crown usually.
It's at least 10 roots, and then at least 2 crowns, depending on...
Yeah. And trust me, that will give you a ton of comfort.
That's a lot. That's 10 to 12. Well, that's 12 separate plants. The crowns just come up quicker.
Yeah.
Than the roots.
Absolutely. So
And
it's like everywhere in our yard.
But that's because I planted it there.
Exactly.
It doesn't spread on its own.
Yes. So yeah, this is bocking number 4, if I remember.
Yep.
And it's not invasive. It does not go crazy. It does not pop up in random places in your yard. It stays where you put it.
Forever.
Yes. And we have tested that because we have moved it, and about 3 weeks later,
it'll just come up again.
It's right there again. It's like, okay, well, we're not getting you out.
Yep. And it grows everywhere. I notice it does grow better in the sun. But I do have some in the front of our house that faces north, and it's growing, but it's not as big and full as the ones that are in the back in the sun.
Right. I mean, it'll do pretty much everything, and the nice thing is you can chop it down and it'll pop right back up.
Yeah, when it starts to look a little leggy.
Yeah, when it bolts and you get flowers.
You get flowers, which are really pretty.
Yeah.
The flowers are really pretty, and the bees love them, the butterflies love them, hummingbirds love them.
That shocked me to see the hummingbirds
They
go
were
through them.
everywhere. But yeah, once the flowers fall off, I just chop it down. I give it to the chickens. I give it to the rabbits. It's really good for their lungs. It was awesome when we had all the smoke here to give those to the animals because we couldn't bring them inside.
Right.
They were breathing the smoke, whether, no matter what we did. And at least this kind of helped clear it out.
Exactly. And we didn't lose anybody with that, thank God.
Yeah.
Or with the heat, so we did pretty good this year.
Yeah. But yeah, I'll dehydrate some to give to the animals over the winter, too. Just kind of sprinkle it around. And then the freeze-dried ones are for the salves.
Yep. And you got a bunch stocked up for that, too, I think.
Yeah.
So
I want to do a couple more batches. Just because I'd hate to run out. That'd be bad.
I know. And the leaves that we get off these things are, about 3 feet long?
They're huge. Yeah.
I mean, we have a picture of you holding them last year.
Yeah.
And those are still small.
Yeah. And I think when you chop them down the first time and they come back, that's when you get
the big
the
leaves.
huge leaves.
Yeah. And that works perfect for the salve. I mean, it gives you a ton.
Yeah. I can't. I mean, I pick it to fill the freeze dryer, and you don't even know that I picked any of it because it's so full.
Exactly. So.
But yeah, we'll probably do a couple more batches in the freeze dryer. We'll dehydrate some, and then the rest of it will get chopped up and thrown into the compost.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we have it growing in a lot of different places, including a IBC tote.
Yep. Which last year we wrapped and covered to, because we had just planted them, and I think this year we're just gonna leave it.
Yeah,
we might cover it.
Yeah,
maybe.
I still have the piece of thing, insulation in the garage. I can just throw over the top of it.
Yeah, just to keep
foam.
the snow from piling up all over it.
Yeah.
But I don't think we're gonna wrap it. We're just gonna see what happens because we have plenty to. If they don't make it, then we can
come back.
We'll plant it again, and then we'll know.
Yeah, because I think everything that we planted last year came back, and I think we have 40, maybe 50 plants.
Yeah, like all spread all over the place.
Yeah.
Well, because every time I get some, I plant the rest.
Right.
And so then it's usually 4 or 5 more plants.
Exactly.
Stuffed somewhere.
That's next year's sales.
Yeah.
But you got to keep on it, and I
mean, it's free roots. I mean, they're
exactly.
I mean, everything I bought originally is paid for multiple times now.
Yep. And it adds another facet to what we can do here at the homestead. So I know you've always wanted to make salves and stuff like that. Now we're actually doing it with stuff from here.
Yeah, I mean the comfrey's from our yard. The beeswax is from another farm in Hinckley. The tallow is from a farm in Hinckley. And then the vitamin E is what I buy commercially.
Yeah. So 3/4 of the products, and there isn't really that much vitamin E in it.
No, it's a couple drops. Yeah.
So, I mean, with that being said, it's 99.9% from our town.
Yep.
So you can't get any better than that.
Yeah.
That's
I love that.
Supporting local. So now if we can find somebody that has vitamin E or a substitute for vitamin E.
Yeah, and it really just helps, it helps preserve it a little bit better, and it just helps with the skin usage.
Yep, exactly.
So yeah, I think that's pretty much it.
Yep, and then we got the little thing with Tim coming up this weekend. We'll give an update on that.
Yeah, which is turning into not be so little.
Yeah, I mean, what did we figure? There's 13 people in the group with plus ones. And
kids and...
Yeah, we might have 30 people here.
Which I had a list of places I was going to share it if it didn't seem like there was a lot, and I didn't share it.
Yeah.
Because I wanted it to mostly be
the community.
People who actually listen to us, who actually have been in one of the groups.
Exactly.
Either Tim's or ours, or... I know Nicole has been sharing it, LFTN. I don't even know if anyone really from the LFTN...
There's 2 that popped up, I think, that are coming.
Okay.
Or maybe from the TSP.
Yeah, so...
And then we have one of our listeners who messaged me, who's not on any social media, and said he's coming with his family, so it'll be kind of nice to see.
Yeah, there's going to be quite a few kids, which will be awesome.
Yeah, that'll keep ours occupied and having fun and not being bored talking to a bunch of adults. And...
Yeah, because, I mean, we enjoy going to the workshops and stuff, but... I understand that, kids are not that they're not welcome, but it's a pain.
Yeah. I mean,
so now
we still have rules here, and we're going to enforce some rules. Yeah. But the vast majority of kids who are coming already know the rules, and we don't even need to say it.
Yeah.
So... I mean, it should be a fun weekend. We'll hide the ATV from the girls, and they're not going to be allowed to take that thing out.
Yeah.
But I'm sure there'll be some protests and complaints about that, but they'll live.
Yep.
So I don't need somebody else getting hurt on the little ATV.
Yeah.
Or the big ATV.
So yeah, it'll be nice to have something at their place. Because they love doing tours and talking about all their stuff.
So we will have... We're going to start the smoker in the morning. I'm not saying what that is yet. You have to find out when you get here. Tim's talking about doing a roundtable discussion. We're going to probably have a little bit of ham radio up and running.
Barter table
selling table. If we just got a half-inch of rain, so we may have a bonfire Saturday night. And that bonfire is going to be big.
Yeah.
We don't have little bonfires around here. We have big bonfires. Yeah. And then we got a couple people camping.
Yeah.
So got 2 people coming in on Friday, and then they'll probably camp over Saturday. Get up Sunday, and they'll take off from there. 2 for sure, maybe more. We'll find out.
So yeah, we'll have breakfast, and then stuff to eat throughout the day Saturday, and then dinner, and then breakfast again.
Yep. So I don't know.
And lots of desserts.
Yep.
Lots of desserts.
Lots of desserts. So I think there might be talk of maybe a live stream. I don't know. Tim might be doing something.
Yeah.
So I have to keep an eye out on his YouTube channel and see if he goes live. So we're setting up a tent. We'll have Wi-Fi down there. Well, it shouldn't be a problem. Tether phones. We'll get some lights out so we can actually see everybody at night.
Yeah.
So should be pretty easy.
Yeah, it'll be fun.
Exactly. All right, guys. We'll see you next week.
All right, see you on the homestead, where something is always growing, eating, or cooking.